Blessings. Hi, Q. Blessings to everyone. Okay, so welcome. Welcome to Womb Wednesday. My name is Ramona Riley, aka the Vagina Lady, and owner of Cosmic Woman. I thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Womb Wednesdays is something we do every night, even though we didn't do it last week. Not every night, but every Wednesday. We didn't do it last Wednesday. I had a birth. I could not make it. But we are here today. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. For those who are not following the Vagina Lady on Instagram, please do so if you have Instagram. And if you're not following us on YouTube, Cosmic Woman, please do so as well. So, of course, usual, we pray first before we get started. So I would love to do that. And then we're going to get into our PCOS, which is such a necessary topic to speak about. So you guys can do whatever you would usually do for prayer, and I will lead the prayer. Dear God, everyone on the live, including myself, thank you for the blessings, all of them. We thank you also for the support and love that we have from the people that are close. We ask you now to just surround us with all the positive energy that is possible. The world is going through a lot right now. There's a lot of anger, there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of stress and strain, even more than usual. So we pray for those people who are feeling it even a little bit more than we do. We ask you for continued protection. Amen. All right, let's get into this. So, PCOS. Now, before I even get into what PCOS is, I just want to say that this condition, PCOS, is probably the most prevalent reproductive condition that I deal with on a daily basis. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, Cosmic Woman has been going on for 7 years. 7 years ago, I did not have half the women with PCOS. Now, some of it could have been because they weren't diagnosed. It could have been that they were seeking other methods. But the increase that I've had blows my mind, because it used to be just, fibroids or endometriosis, or maybe a simple cyst. But when it comes down to PCOS, it has become so much more abundant. It is a condition that 1 out of every 10 women have, and that's what they say. But I will be completely honest with you, I think it's more like 1 out of 7 or maybe 8. Okay? What is PCOS? PCOS is a estrogen-driven condition. Now, a lot of reproductive conditions are estrogen-driven. Hi, Paula. A lot of them are driven, and estrogen is the main hormonal issue, right? It is the hormone that is the most abundant, which is now creating this issue. And that is fibroids, okay? That is any type of cyst. And PCOS is no different, just like endometriosis. No different. They're all estrogen driven. PCOS, though, comes in so many different forms and fashions. So just imagine your ovaries, okay? We have the tubes, right? The fallopian tubes, and we have the ovaries. For some PCOS, the ovaries are surrounded with cysts. For some, you don't see cysts. For some, there might be some male hormone thing going on. So they come in many different shapes and sizes, and we're going to go into that. But I just want you guys to understand, number one, that it is an estrogen-driven problem. How do we get PCOS? Where does that come from? How does that come about? Is probably a question that many of you have. PCOS, yes, is estrogen-driven. But it really starts from the gut. When I say the gut, what does that mean? That means the digestive system in general. So it is usually the digestive system first, and then the reproductive system gets the domino effect of the situation. So we have to look at the gut. We have to heal the gut. For you to heal PCOS, and many will tell you that PCOS cannot be healed, or cysts cannot just do that, or hormones cannot just be balanced like that. But I'm here to tell you that that is not the situation. PCOS can be removed. You can be free of this condition. And the gut is the first place that we start to heal this condition. Maybe you might think to yourself, what about PCOS? Like, how do you know you have PCOS, right? Is that something the doctor just tells you? Is that something, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are doing research these days. You know, we are definitely a generation, and we're in a time where we are seeking info. And I love that. I love that, what's going on. And so you find that a lot of women are trying to figure out what are other options for PCOS. Because at the end of the day, the gut, and I'll say it again, the gut is where everything starts when it comes to PCOS. And that's probably many diseases out there is where it starts, definitely in the gut. But we're talking about PCOS, and it starts in the gut. So we want to heal the gut. We want to heal things like the liver, because the liver holds a lot of the hormones, a lot of it. So let's say, for example, you have a woman and she's suffering with PCOS. No matter what form of PCOS she's suffering from, she is going to have high estrogen in her liver. Meaning her liver is going to sit saturated in estrogen. So we have to make sure that we are healing the liver. We're cleansing the liver. We're doing all of that with the liver. The liver has to be healed. It has to be fixed. The digestive system in itself has to be fixed for us to really heal the PCOS. So, as I told you before, there are many different forms of PCOS. And one form is just high estrogen. That's it. It's high estrogen, and you probably have some cysts around the ovaries. You might not have cysts around the ovaries, but it's high estrogen. Another type is high estrogen with male hormones. So this is when the woman will kind of have hair growing in manly places. So like on her nipple or in her chest or in her neck or chin, you know, having that male facial hair. That is where that PCOS comes from. So your liver now is sitting in not just an abundant amount of estrogen where it is like marinating in it, but now we also have this male hormone that it is also saturated in. Because at the end of the day, we all know when it comes to any male hormone, testosterone, any one of them, they're supposed to be limited. It's supposed to be very, very small amount for a woman. So between the PCOS that causes male hormones on top of the estrogen, some is insulin resistant, right? Sometimes they're hidden, you don't know. PCOS just comes in so many forms. So when clients call me or text or DM or whatever, and they say, hey, I have PCOS, what can I take? What can I buy? It's hard to say because I don't know what kind of PCOS you have. I don't know what your condition really looks like. So I don't know what's the best way to go about it. There are some basic things, definitely some basic things that we can do. But at the end of the day, to know exactly what we're working with is going to make it a much easier journey to the healing process, or in the healing process, right? So with PCOS, we have these 3 to 4 different types of PCOS. And as we said before, the gut is one of the main places that we want to start. When we move from the gut, the other place that we want to start is actually the ovaries, okay? We definitely want to be balancing the hormones, and in that, we're doing that from the gut level, but we can also do that from also just the reproductive level also. There are different types of things, different types of treatments, different types of things that we can do. But when we move from the gut, the other place that we want to go is the ovaries. Because at the end of the day, PCOS most times is because of the ovaries. Most cysts, it's reproductively, is going to be on the ovaries, right? So we want to make sure that the ovary itself is healthy. The ovary itself is able to release eggs, so you're ovulating. The ovary, the healthier the ovaries are, is the harder it is for PCOS to be there. Especially the ones that are physical PCOS with the cysts around them. It could be 4 cysts, it could be 20 cysts, it doesn't matter. When someone has PCOS, there are certain types of symptoms that they might suffer from. As I told you before, one of them is definitely facial hair or hair in manly places. That is the PCOS that has the male hormone and the estrogen involved. But there are also other types of symptoms like irregular periods. That's huge. A lot of women that have irregular periods or don't see a period for a long time, a lot of times it's because of the PCOS. You also have the ones that have their period, but when it comes, it lasts forever. It's lasting for a month and 2 months and 3 months, and it's not stopping. It took forever to come, and once it came or once it has arrived, it takes forever to leave. That is also a symptom. Another symptom is, of course, not ovulating. And this is when a lot of women start to look into their PCOS. Because a lot of women have their PCOS when they're told, diagnosed, listen, the reason why you're not having your period, the reason why your period are lasting so long, the reason why whatever is because you have a condition called PCOS. A lot of times the woman hears these things and she says, okay, she might try to do a little treatment depending on mentally where she is. They'll give her metformin. They sometimes give them Clomid. They give them all different types of things. Put you on birth control. And then you find now that when they are on these types of things, at the end of the day, the healing is not happening. They have to stay on this forever. And it just deteriorates the rest of the body. So not being able to ovulate is definitely also a symptom of PCOS. Another symptom of PCOS is, of course, no period. Like none. Like you haven't seen a period in 5 years, 1 year, 2 years, whatever. Of course, sometimes when you don't see your period, it can be because of a premenopausal situation. But there are some women that the only time that they really take their PCOS into consideration or do anything about it is when they're trying to become pregnant. And that goes across the board. But because PCOS is not a physically painful condition, you find that the woman just, oh, whatever. Oh, I'm not having a period. Oh, okay. It's all right. I hate them anyway. Right? And then it's not until she has found the man that she wants to, have a child with, or she's gotten married or something like this. And now you find out that I need to do something about this PCOS. You were told you had PCOS from when you're 16. Now you're 35. You've done nothing about it. But because you're now seeking fertility, PCOS is now an issue. When our bodies give us these types of things and these types of signs and symptoms, and that is in general, we can't ignore them. We have to realize that this is like our body saying, hey, something is wrong. Something is off. What is it? Look into that. Stop. Take a second. We have to do that. Because when we ignore and ignore and ignore, and then you find that we don't think about it until 15 years from now, it is even harder to fix the condition. There are certain things that make PCOS harder, worse, okay? And I'm going to go into maybe the foods first. Because there are some enemy foods. There are some PCOS foods that, or I shouldn't say PCOS foods. There are some foods that make your PCOS worse. And those foods are things like dairy. So we're talking anything from the cow. If you suffer from any type of cyst, simple cyst, PCOS, I don't care what type, dairy is not your friend. Dairy is not your friend. Anything from the cow is not your friend. So the beef is not your friend. The cow foot, it's from the cow. It's not your friend. Oxtail is not your friend. Dairy, soy with dairy. Yogurt with dairy, anything like that is not going to be your friend. Another issue is, of course, our soy. Because we're not realizing that soy contains a lot of estrogen. A lot of estrogen. Even when we're trying to eat healthy. Because there was a time I was in South Carolina and I would usually buy mocked meat, which is basically like protein, like grains and different things that are put together to create like this meat type of texture. And one day I looked at the back in the ingredients and I realized that it had soy in it. This thing that is supposed to be healthy and it's better than meat and all these different things had soy in it. Soy has a high amount of estrogen. Tofu has a high amount of estrogen. Chicken has a high amount of estrogen. All of these things, even things like soybeans. I have realized that a lot of natural soaps and lotions and oils and those types of things have soybean in them. We're putting them on our skin, the largest organ of our body. It creates a problem. So soybean is also something you don't want to do. Okay? Anything kind of starchy, anything with gluten, anything that there are certain carbs that we want to stay away from as well. Okay, because of course carbs turn into sugars. That creates an issue because there are some PCOS that are insulin resistant, and then those are the ones that you will call, they will after a while be diabetic, or now they have diabetes and now they have to take medication for diabetes, right? So we want to make sure that those carbs that we're eating are healthier carbs. They're not the pasta and the rice and the bread. And if you are eating those, then you want to make sure that if you eat that, you're not living on that. You're not having one of those like a bread in the morning, rice in the afternoon, and then you might have like Irish potato in the evening, mashed potato. That is a disaster. Complete disaster. So if you are going to eat one of those types of carbs, you don't want to do that more than once a day. And even that might be too much. I said something about gluten, and I just want to make sure everybody has an understanding of what gluten is. Gluten in itself is usually in foods like rice and pasta and breads and all of those types of things. Gluten, wheat is gluten. So guys, wheat is really not good for you. I promise. It's better eat the white bread. Okay? So gluten itself, once you chew, swallow, and are starting to digest, it's starting to go down towards the digestive system, what happens is it turns into a paste. And this paste covers your organs. So as it's going down, it's just covering whatever organs and covering whatever it needs to cover or can't cover. And then it does not allow oxygen to be able to be absorbed in those places that have this paste over it. So gluten is a no-no. Soy is a no-no. Tofu, no-no. Beef, not your friend. Chicken, not your friend. Dairy, not your friend. None of those things are your friends. So you have to stay away. You have to stay away. So of course, I want to say, come, do a consultation. Let me make you a treatment plan. I want to do that. I want to be able to give you everything it is that you personally need so that this can be healed, fixed, shifted. But there are some people that literally can't afford a consultation. They don't even know where to start. And if they get a consultation, how are they now going to buy the products? The money spent on the consultation. So I want to just go over a few things that Cosmic Woman has for PCOS. So let's first go into teas. So we have womb tea. Okay. Womb tea is a blend of many different types of herbs. We're talking red raspberry, red clover, chamomile, peppermint, sorrel, which is also hibiscus, nettle, dandelion. There are a lot of those types of things in the womb tea, and it helps to balance the hormones. It is not a huge hormone balancer, but there are things that are great for balancing the hormone. And the other things that are great in their help with like bloating and, maybe period cramps and digestive things. So that is also great. Another tea that we have is the hormonal tea blend. Okay. Now this hormonal tea blend is going to be, of course, for your hormones. It's like 4 hormones. So no matter what type of hormone issue you have, it could be PCOS, it could be regular cis, it could be endometriosis, it could be a low libido, it could be anything like that. You would do your hormonal oil, your hormonal herb blend. Can you mix these together? You sure can. I don't mix them together. I keep them separately because I think the taste is beautiful separately. But if you're someone that doesn't really love tea, tea is not it. In terms of now drinking 4 teas instead of drinking 2. So I would say combine them. Best thing to do. Another herb we have is red maca. Now, a lot of you have probably heard about maca, okay? And you go and you can go in the store and you can buy maca. You don't want just maca, because then it's probably a blend of the yellow, the black, the red, all of that. If you suffer from PCOS, if you suffer from irregular periods, if you suffer from no period, red maca. You put a teaspoon, you can mix it with all three. All three of these can mix together. Your red maca, your womb tea, and your hormonal blend. Okay? You can also put these things in your smoothie, guys. Okay? Moving on from the teas. There is now a cleanse that we have called cellular regeneration. Cellular regeneration is going to be great for hormones in itself, but it's great also for cysts and also for fibroids, okay? This is something that you would take once a day. It can be in the morning, it can be in the night, it can be in the middle of the night. I don't give two craps, but you definitely want to do the cellular regeneration to help with the cysts, no matter which cyst it is. I see people are asking me about prices. Okay. Let me just go back to that so that you guys know. The hormonal blend in the US is $5. In Jamaica, it's $1,000. Red maca in the US is $8. In Jamaica, I believe it's $1,500. Womb tea is $1,000 in Jamaica. It's $5 in the US. Cellular regeneration. Now, this is the small. This is what I sell in Jamaica. I do not sell the large because it just gets really expensive and it's just don't make no sense. This is the small. We have the small and the large, which is double the amount. So this is 8 ounces. The large is 16 ounces. We have the large and the small in the US. Here in Jamaica, we have just the small. Now, when it comes to things like side effects, guys, there's very few side effects that you're going to find in a lot of these things. It's probably going to be how your body's reacting just because of what's going on. But very rare do I ever really get someone that calls or texts or emails and says, hey, I was taking this and my skin is now breaking out, or now my throat is itching, or now I have a black whatever on my face, or I don't really get that. Can that happen? I mean, anything can happen. But I don't really get those situations. And I guess because they're all natural, right? Another tonic is the liver tonic. Now remember, guys, I was talking to you about the liver and reminding you that estrogen itself, the male hormones, all those things sit in the liver. So we want to clean the liver, we want to strengthen the liver, that type of thing. We definitely want to do that. Vitamin D3, great for PCOS, okay? You can take 1 capsule or 2 capsules a day. Now let's go into evening primrose. Okay, the prices. Regeneration is 6,000 in Jamaica. It is 35 US or 60 US for the large. Same thing with the liver tonic. All the tonics are the same prices. Evening primrose. Evening primrose is an oil that is great for hormonal balance in general. So we're talking PCOS, yes. Regulating the period, menopause, all of those types of things would be good. Evening primrose would be good for. The reason why I usually recommend evening primrose for my clients that suffer from PCOS is because a lot of times their periods are not regulated. Okay, so that is huge. And of course, hormonal balancing, it's very important. Now the evening primrose is swallowed, So depending on what it is, I would say 1 teaspoon a day or 2 teaspoons a day, just depending on how severe the condition is. Then we have the hormonal oil blend. Hormonal oil blend is not to be swallowed, okay? It is topical. So, for example, for all my ladies that like to go get their nails done, I know, I see you guys. You guys are there, right? Get your toes done. There's no reason you should not have a hormonal oil blend in your pocketbook or handbag or whatever you want to call it to go to do your pedicure and your manicure. Warm water, put a couple drops in, put your fingers in, put your feet in. You will be getting healing in, and you're not doing nothing more than putting some drops in some water. Okay? So I like to say topically, definitely for hormonal oil, rubbing it on the bottom of your feet, palm of your hand is also aromatherapy. So you can inhale it, and of course you can put it in your pedicure water or your manicure water. Evening primrose can be raw. It can have a strong taste. So if it is an issue, you can get it in capsules. We can definitely give you capsules that you can fill up and swallow. If not, you can put it in your smoothie. You can put it in your orange juice. You can put it in all those other things. So it does not have to go directly on your tongue. Now, in terms of treatments, there's a treatment called castor oil treatment that is great. It really helps to balance the hormones. Of course, it removes toxins. It also detoxes the reproductive system, which is also pretty fabulous. So a castor oil treatment is a great option for someone that suffers from PCOS. Castor oil treatments are going to be on your abdomen. I have this on my IG page, guys. Go look at it. You can't use black Jamaican castor oil. It has to be cold pressed organic castor oil. When it is black, impurities are still in it. You cannot use it for this treatment. Okay? You rub it on your abdomen. There will be a special cloth that comes with it, either a muslin cloth or cotton flannel. Either one of these cannot be bleached, and they should not have dye on them either. So once you saturate your abdomen with the castor oil, you're then going to place this cloth over your abdomen. You're then going to take a heating pad or a hot water bottle, put that on top of the cloth, and lie there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. It does great work. It's easy, it's simple. You don't really have to do anything. You're just lying there. Check your emails. Talk to your boo on the phone. Write something. Do a meditation. Go to hell to sleep. Doesn't matter. Figure something out. What can also help with PCOS is navel candling. But navel candling is something that you'd have to come to me to do. It's not something that you could do on your own. Okay? For sure. I see someone talking about cellular cleanse and it being sweet. Okay, so this original cellular cleanse is actually very bitter. The next time you buy your cellular cleanse, it will be bitter. Okay? We were just trying something out. We don't like it. So we're going to go back to the bitter. Okay? I don't think that the results are as good as it was when it was bitter. So for all of those that like the sweetness, it's going. For all those that were like, oh, it's too sweet, it's going. Okay? Let me see if there are any questions so far before I continue. I'm looking. What about bloating? Okay, so bloating is not really a PCOS thing. It is a PMS thing. It's a period thing. And if you do suffer from bloating, I would say do the womb tea. You realize that the bloating becomes non-existent. So try the womb tea for the bloating. Signs of endometriosis. Okay, so we're not talking endometriosis tonight, but usually it is a lot of pain. Pain. The pain can't stop. You just want to just jump off a cliff. You have pain in your legs. You have pain in your knees. You have pain in your back. You have pain in your abdomen. It's just a hot mess completely. Heavy periods. Yes, soy is an issue. Beef is an issue. I thought wheat was good. No, wheat is only good because of the fiber that's in it. But you can get fiber from many other things. It's not the best place to get fiber from. My husband wants to hear him love white bread. And I am like, no, babe, it's not good for you. Yeah, it's really not. It's really, really not good for you. My kids eat it sometimes. I don't really stress about it. For them, per se, I'm not overly stressed. Because I do other things, you know, to make sure that there are certain things that everything is like good. But in general, we don't want to eat the white bread. We don't want to do the wheat bread. They're just really not healthy for us. So what am I going to eat? Okay. If you suffer from PCOS, what are you going to now eat? There's always fish. There's always seafood. And we want to make sure that it is wild caught and not farm raised, by the way, because that is hormones again, guys. Okay. Goat, you can have goat. Those are probably the safer meats. Fish, seafood, goat. They don't really get a lot of hormones. You can find fish with a lot of hormones for sure. But I mean, you can also find the wild caught. So you shouldn't have to eat the one that has the hormones in it. This is why I switched my diet to plant-based. Consumption of all those things aren't good. Yeah, it really isn't. It really isn't good for us. And in the long run, you know, we end up suffering from all of these things. All kind of things. Acid reflux, arthritis, asthma, sinus, all kind of things. It's the foods. It's the food. I can't afford the consultation, much less the treatment. Okay, so this is the whole reason why I'm doing this live. I'm doing this live so that people can learn a little bit. So even if you can't buy a lot of products or buy any of the products, you can at least do something about your diet. You can at least try and start to exercise 2 days a week. You can start to do certain things and stop putting certain things in your body that would create an issue when it comes to PCOS. Is red raspberry tablet as effective? Okay, well, the red raspberry capsule can be effective, making sure that it is not a gelatin capsule, but it is a veggie capsule. But red raspberry does nothing for your hormones. It is not a hormone thing. Okay? It can help to regulate the period mixed with other things, but it is not. Red raspberry is not for hormones. It is really for your uterus. It's for the uterus, the strength of the uterus. It's for the lining of the uterus. It's not hormonal. So if you are suffering from hormonal issues, you got to add some other things into that red raspberry. Someone else said they're talking about being broke. If you don't have the money to buy the products, if you don't have the money to do the consultations, guys, just stop eating certain things and start eating certain things. That's all. That's all you have to do. If you can't do anything else, you're buying food anyway. Prices. Okay, so as I said, all the tonics are 6,000 Jamaican or 60 US or 35 US. The hormonal oil blend is 3,000 Jamaican or 25 US. The evening primrose is 35 US, 4,000 Jamaican. The teas, the blends, which is the hormonal tea blend and also the womb tea, both of those are 1,000. The red maca is 1,500. The red maca in US is $8, and the blends itself in US are $5. I think I got that. Yes. Do you have Vitex? Yes, I do have Vitex. We have it in the powder form and we also have it in the capsule form. Vitex is not good if you have PCOS. I repeat, Vitex is not what you need if you suffer from PCOS. You want to do other things. You want to do things like milk thistle, like cinnamon, red clover. Okay, Vitex is not it. If you suffer from fibroids, then I would say yes, Vitex. If you suffer from endometriosis, then I would say yes, okay, Vitex. But not for PCOS or any simple cysts. Side effects. There are no real common side effects, okay? Side effects I'm having is that I poo a lot. Okay, but that's a good side effect. That's a good one. The more you're releasing the waste is the healthier your body is. Okay, I don't care if you would usually go to the bathroom every day. Being on the cleanse makes you go more. You need to go more. We want to clean out all of the negative, but still leave the positive things, the good bacteria. Hi, Denver. How are you? Yeah, I think I went over the prices. I think I went over the prices. I think the only price I didn't tell you about was the castor oil treatment, which is in the US is $20 and in Jamaica it's $3,000 for the kit itself. The cellular cleanse is 6,000 in Jamaica or 60 US or 35 US. What is good for gallstones? I would suggest the cleanse for sure. I would also suggest diatomaceous earth. I would also change my diet completely. And also in terms of your oils that you cook with, you want to change that too, for sure. PCOS plus regular periods, what's best for it? I went into this earlier. I mean, at the end of the day, if you suffer from PCOS, the estrogen, no matter what PCOS you have, the estrogen is the problem. So with that, we want to make sure we remove half of that estrogen, and that is going to come from removing it from the liver. So cleansing the liver, cleaning the liver, that's going to be good. Balancing the hormones, that's going to be important as well. The number for the US is 803-269-7587. Okay. Can the conditions of the gut, which causes PCOS, also cause poor skin on face, acne, eczema, so on? Yes. Remember, acne, eczema, all of those things start from the gut as well. Most issues we have start from the gut. Okay, most issues. So we want to make sure that we have the gut in the healthiest way possible. If the gut is healthy, that means the reproductive system is going to be healthy. That means the immune system is going to be healthy. That means the lymphatic system will then be healthy. The endocrine system would be healthy. And all the other systems will be healthy. What about vaginal steams? Okay, vaginal steams are great, guys. Vaginal steams feel good. It's great before sex. It helps to detox the vagina. It helps to release all that extra blood, all of that kind of stuff for the period. But it doesn't do anything for the hormones. Like I heard someone say it once on Instagram, and they were like, oh, vaginal steams are good for your hormones. It's not good. It's not good for your hormones. I don't think it really does anything for your hormones, but it does do other things. But I do definitely recommend vaginal steaming after every period or the last day of your period. I think that it will make your period much, much better than it is, no matter how amazing it is right now. Can I buy products without a consultation? You sure can. You sure can. You can go to our website, www.cosmicwoman.com, and you can buy whichever products it is that you want to get. In terms of me being able to tell you what to buy, you definitely need a consultation. With me being able to guide you, you would definitely need a consultation. Would I recommend the Yoni Pearl? Nope. I don't like it. I've tried it. I've tried other herbal tampons too, and they've been better. But in terms of the pearl, Yoni Pearl, I do not like it. I do not like it. I have so many clients that I had an issue. They've had an issue. They weren't even a client before, and now they're a client because things all kinds of effed up. You know, so I do not recommend it. I think it's very evasive. I think it removes too much. I do believe that for some women, it worked and they got their goal. But for the majority, I don't think so. I think it's way too strong. You can buy the products. You can. You can. You can decide what the products are that you want, and you can buy them. How many treatments to get rid of PCOS? Well, I can't really tell you that. I have no idea. You know, I have clients that after 4 months, I mean, they don't have any signs of the PCOS. And I have some that it took them a year. Everyone is different. Do you help with meal plan or a list of foods to avoid as a part of treatment plan? Yes. So if you did a consultation with me, you will definitely receive a food list. The food list has all types of different fruits and vegetables and grains and healthy sugars and healthy oils and all of those types of things to use. Okay? I can't wait for my products to get here. For PCOS, what can be taken to ovulate? Okay, so vitamin C is going to be really great for PCOS to ovulate. Evening primrose is also going to be great. I would say those two things are major. Yes, so no eggs, no frankfurters. Unless they're healthy frankfurters. Can you take the teas while on metformin or Norcal? Okay, so listen. If you want to heal your PCOS, you gotta come off of those things. Unless you're on metformin because you actually have diabetes, then you gotta come off. You have to come off so that we can really heal you. We're not going to be able to heal you if you're still on that. Lamb. Hi, Kathy. How are you, darling? Lamb is much better. So lamb is the same thing like how goat is going to be, you know, or sheep or any of those types of meats, because those meats don't really get a lot of, they don't put a lot of hormones in them, right? Not yet, at least. once they start to, you know, put all the hormones in them because of maybe, you know, the increased rate of need, right? Then we'll have to be like, okay, no, we can't eat those things. But as of right now, it's not a problem. So yes, you can definitely have lamb. Pork, no. No pork. Pork takes way too long to digest. It is mashing up your gut. So no, not pork. You gotta come off of pork, okay? If you have PCOS, you gotta come off of pork. How do you know that you have PCOS? Okay, so I went into this before, and I'll say it quickly. Again, usually it's irregular periods, or no period, or irregular periods with a long period. Sometimes you're growing hair in manly places, the chest, the nipples, the chin, the neck, even the mustache. Those are usually the symptoms. Not seeing a period at all. Exercise is extremely, extremely, extremely important. Okay? So suffering from PCOS or any other thing, it's important. But if you suffer from PCOS, you definitely want to, especially if it's the insulin resistant. Okay? Because there's more of a weight gain. You find that women with PCOS gain weight quicker. Right? They look around and they're like, yo, I'm gonna put on 30 pounds. I mean, what the hell? It happens. Okay, so to know exactly what type of PCOS, yes, an ultrasound would be done, blood work would be done, so that they can figure out if you have PCOS and what type of PCOS. How can I get the products to buy in the US? You can go on our website, cosmicwoman.com, and you can purchase if you're in the United States or anywhere else in the world. If you're in Jamaica, then of course you just need to call us, come into the office or call us. We can deliver that type of thing. Does magnesium help? Magnesium helps to balance the hormones. So yes, magnesium can help. If you're suffering from painful periods on top of the PCOS, then magnesium is definitely something you want to be on, for sure. People should prioritize their health. Oftentimes we spend on non-essential items. I'm in full support of my... No, so listen. It is something that I hear a lot. I don't have enough money, or wow, why is that so expensive, or, you know, that type of thing. And unfortunately, it sucks. It sucks that we have to pay for this type of thing because, I mean, we're not learning it. We didn't learn from our parents. We didn't learn from our grandparents. We didn't learn in terms of these types of things. So where are we going to get the knowledge? Then who is going to guide us? So when you get a consultation, yes, you get your 6 treatment plans, and that probably can last you a month and a year and a half. But you're also getting the guidance. You're also getting the support. Because a lot of times when women are suffering from these types of things, they feel alone. They feel, there's even a depression that comes on because they feel like their body is flawed. And I say this all the time and I can't stop saying it. Women who suffer from reproductive issues feel like they're the only living soul on this earth that has this condition. Even though it's 1 out of 10 women that have PCOS, or 1 out of 10 women that have endometriosis. But at the end of the day, when you have it, you feel like it's you, one, and Jesus. So that is also what you're paying for. You're paying for the guidance and the support when it comes to a consultation. What kind of fish have hormones? Okay, so if your fish is wild caught, most likely it has no hormones because them go out into the sea and them catch it and they bring it come. If you get farm raised, most likely it has hormones because they have to put the hormones, they have to put the antibiotics in there so that it lives and it gets big enough to where they can kill it and sell it. Okay. Please save this live so I can watch it again. Okay, no problem. Is it okay to eat callaloo, cabbage, or other vegetables? Yes, definitely vegetables. Cabbage is not really so amazing. It's not as amazing as you guys think it is. Callaloo, definitely a superfood. Kale, definitely a superfood. So yes, you can definitely incorporate that for sure. If you are in the UK and it is not, and you're not able to ship, you're not able to order from the website, send me a message on the US number 803-269-85. Sorry, let me start again. 803-269-7587. And I can create an invoice for you and send it to you for what it is that you want. What is Vitex? Vitex is a herb that is very, very good for things like fertility or for endometriosis or for fibroids and that type of thing. Vitex is not good for PCOS or cysts. So please, if you suffer from that, that is not what you need. What are the first 2 products you should recommend for someone who can barely afford the treatment? Cleanse, for sure. Cleanse, for sure. And then it depends on what her symptoms are or what's happening. Does she have a period? If she gets a period, it just lasts long, then I would give her something. If she doesn't get a period at all, then I would say, hey, you need hello period. We need to bring down your period. So it just really depends, but the cleanse is definitely, if I had to pick 2 things, no matter what issue you have, the cleanse would be one of those 2. Can you get pregnant after balancing your hormones? Of course you can. Of course, of course, of course, of course. That's the whole point of us balancing it. So who wants to get pregnant can. It becomes much easier. Hi, Lexus. I see you. Okay. Guys, it is about that time. And I'm so sorry. But we're going to have a part 2. So we will talk a lot more about this. Bring your questions. Ask your questions. I thank you guys for tuning in tonight, like you guys do every other night. And if it's your first time tuning in, welcome. Please come again. We also have a live on Friday called Pum Pum 101. And for those that have never watched Pum Pum 101, I urge you to do so. That comes on Friday at 9 p.m. Cosmic Woman has 2 classes this month. One is a pelvic strengthening class, which is for men, and that's on the 25th. And the other one is a yoni toning class, which is for women, and that is on the 27th. So, and they're both free, guys, so please take advantage of it. If you're not following the Vagina Lady on IG, please do so. And if you're not following us on Cosmic Woman on YouTube, please do so. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Love and light to all of you. Have a great night. Blessings.